Well, it's very tense right now. Luckily, I'm far away from the shellings right now, about 40 kilometers. But we went to visit some of the properties that got destroyed yesterday by the shellings. Found the people living there, talked to them. They had their whole lives ruined by war. Basically, he had lost his wife in 2016, and now he had also lost his windows. And I mean, they're very afraid, obviously. Not long after that, we decided to that we had to get out of the city, and we started hearing Grad rockets. We believe it's Grad rockets in the distance. And as we left the city, I saw on Twitter another Danish correspondent who wrote that she was in the same city as I was, and they were now firing on all cylinders on the Grad rocket systems at Shastia, the city I was in. So in this little interview bit we showed before the show, there's an old lady saying that the shooting has stopped, and that is definitely not the case on the Ukrainian side of the border.
Do we have any idea who is behind the shooting and the shelling right now, or is it a case of they're both sides firing? What's the landscape like of who's potentially culpable?
Well, both sides are likely firing. I think by the looks of it, obviously the damages we saw today and the damages done to the power plant near the city I was in was done by the separatist side, and from the other side it couldn't be done any other way. Not that I think. A lot of the damages have been confirmed are due to separatist shellings, but we also know that the Ukrainians will respond to fire when they absolutely have to, although they have been given very strict orders to take care right now, because as many people know, Putin is looking for some kind of reason, some kind of casus belli to attack Ukraine. Is the fear. Many Western leaders fear that he's looking for an excuse for an attack, and so the Ukrainian army has been warned not to give him that.
I mean, President Putin has been talking up his nuclear payload. He's been bragging about having hypersonic missiles. I understand you've been actually looking at Ukraine's preparedness to deal with war, including looking at bunkers and bomb shelters to protect people, and you found them wanting. Yeah.
Well, the bunkers don't win wars, naturally, and the Ukrainian army is in very good shape. It's much better shape now than it was in 2014. We shouldn't necessarily underestimate the Ukrainian army, but also we shouldn't underestimate the Russian army, and the Russian military in general is seen as having is much larger and has a much larger air force, which is really going to be the worrying part of this. If they attack, it is from the people. Now, I'm not a military expert, but if they attack from the people I've spoken to, it will be an expensive war for Russia, especially in the long run, but it's not impossible for Russia. We have seen some preparedness, like we've seen some troop movements today on the Ukrainian side. We've seen some armored vehicles being moved further east, and some seemed like some companies being moved further east. But the big question is this air superiority and these missiles, like how big a difference are they going to make on the battlefield? And many on the Ukrainian side, feel like or believe that these are gonna make it very, very hard for the Ukrainians to resist should Russia attack.